Okay, everybody, welcome to Yasashi Namada Games, everything Weebuish and video game related. Today, we're going to be talking about a card game, a particular one, Force of Will, and I'll be going over the steps how you play it, what every card do, and then after this video on Saturday, I'm going to do a deck profile of the deck that I'm going to use as the example. Okay, let's get started. Now, the thing that you need to know about Force of Will is anyone who's played Magic the Gathering, they may get this concept, but the card game revolves around rulers. This is a ruler. I'll actually show it right there, and basically the decks revolve around those rulers. Sometimes the ruler isn't really important. The deck can run on its own, but usually the ruler is the main key for Magic the Gathering players. That's something similar to Commander. So a lot of the mechanics from Magic the Gathering kind of work their way into Force of Will. Um, so usually the way you get mana, or in this case wheel, is your ruler does it for you. Instead of you having like in Pokemon Magic Gathering where your will production is in your deck, here you have your own little deck, and that's called a Magic Stone deck, which would be these. And they're usually their own little thing, and that's how you produce will. As you see here, this can produce water and wind. And the way you do that is usually you before your turn starts, you draw your card. The first turn player doesn't draw their card. Second turn player does draw their card. So the way you work, you draw your card, you tap, and then you call stone. You can't untap and do that. You can only do that once per turn. And when you're calling stone with your ruler, you can only do it once. So there's other cards that can like take a magic stone from your deck and put it onto the field, but your ruler can only do it once. And once it's tapped, you call that magic stone. Some magic stones have effects on them, some don't. But yeah, some rulers have effects on them. No, and as you can see here, she has two effects, and the ruler has a judgment, which allows them to go into their more powerful sides, which I'll show you now. And these are called J rulers. They're designed to basically finish the game off, usually. And as you can see, this is full art, pretty sexy full art too, if I may add. But yeah, quite sure you're all curious. The new rulers in Force of Will, they have a thing called Energize. So the person going second, let's see, where is it? That right there. And there gets an Energize coin, and you can only use it once per that game. This Energize, for this ruler, she has two dual Energizes. Either you can choose for water, or you can choose for wind. And put that coin, and you can use that any time in the game. So yeah, that's the ruler. Those are the stones. I forgot the most important thing: the life points. Like Yu-Gi-Oh, it's more similar towards Yu-Gi-Oh, but you can use dice to represent it. You start off with 4,000, both your opponent, and the point of it is to get your opponent, to zero, like any game. So that's it. Now let's talk about. So we talked about the ruler, we talked about the magic stuff. Let's talk about the actual cards and stuff and the differences between them. Okay. Sorry, so unprofessional today.
Very unprofessional.
You're supposed to be the cameraman. You're not supposed to make fun of me.
Ah.
Okay, so this game, like any game, has monsters. They're called Resonators. This is what they look like. Like, as you can see, they have the Yu-Gi-Oh type stats: 100 attack, 100 defense. They have their species types right there, and their effects right there, and that's the cost. So the circles tell you the cost for a lot of the stuff. So this card, it has a lot of Magic Gathering people will probably get the concepts of some of these cards real fast. This card has flying. Um, like Magic the Gathering, if you have like cards without flying, they can beat each other and stuff. But cards with flying can fly over those cards because they're supposed to have wings. That's like the little game mechanic that Magic the Gathering Force will do with it. So they can fly over. Only flyers can negate other flyers. Or I mean block against flyers and shit like that. So pretty good cards. Most decks, if you can, you want to use flyers because of that concept. Oh, okay. My bad. Don't get mad at me.
Man, I ain't saying nothing, man.
Let's see. We got cards with barrier and stuff like that. Barrier is basically like protection for cards. Basically, barrier makes it so that cards can't be targeted by resonator effects or spell effects, which makes these cards like really good. But they can still be killed by mass removal or through bow damage. Also, this card has resonance, which resonance is basically like when you have a water, wind, magic stone come into play, that resonator or ruler can have like an additional effect. So yeah, that's about it. This game also has swiftness. That's equivalent to Magic the Gathering's haste. It's because in this game, resonators have summoning sickness, so they can't attack the turn they're summoned. But cards with swiftness can attack the turn that they're summoned. Precision, that allows you to attack cards that are not rested. Rested is like basically like this. Let me move that stuff out the way. Rested is basically like, so when you play a resonator, it comes unrested, and when you attack or block or do certain effects, you would rest it. That's what the rest is. Usually, that's the only time you can attack a resonator is when it's rested, or J ruler. That's the only time you can attack them too. But there's some cards that can attack cards that are not rested, and that's what precision does. It allows you to attack unrested cards. So you got those. I think I got everything about their facts.
Did you explain what inheritance does?
Oh, no, I didn't. Inheritance is a very unique mechanic. Let me go back to that other card. What is it? Okay, so inheritance, as you can see right there, basically you can discard this card, and it gains effect. Usually you'll discard it, pay its cost, which is 1 wind, and you draw a card. Other inheritance abilities work the same way, but they'll have different like abilities. Like you discard, you pay a wind and a light, and you may give your originator 600, 600, and stuff like that. Oh, and do I have a tap ability card? Okay, well there's some resonators that have tap abilities, and stuff with tap ability also has summoning sickness, so you can only do it during your opponent's turn, and the next turn after they were summoned, you can tap to use their abilities. Some of them involve stacking, drawing, stuff like that, will production. So yeah, that's it for the resonator part of the stuff. Let's go towards the spells. So there's 3 types of spells. There's a normal spell chance, there's quick cast, and then there's additions. A normal spell looks like this. You usually can only play these during your turn. Now there's like cards outside that can make these cards have quick cast, but you can only play this during your turn, not your opponent turn, your turn. Then quick cast cards like this one, they'll actually say they'll say right on the top quick cast, and they have the lightning ability around them. You can play this during your turn or your opponent's turn, but you can only play these cards when it's like when they can be like when you can do a chase. So anytime you can do a chase, you can do this. If you can't do it with you can't use this during your opponent's draw phase, and you can't do it. You can do it before they draw, but you can't do it during their draw phase. You can do it after draw. So you couldn't use that card because you can't chase towards someone's drawing, but you can chase the rest of their turn or before their turn starts. So that's quick casts. And then we have additions. Additions are more similar to Yu-Gi-Oh in a sense that they're like field spell, continuous spells. If you're Magic the Gathering, I guess they would be artifacts, but basically they stay on the field, and they usually have effects and stuff while they're on the field. Sometimes helping resonators or your ruler, or helping the player out. And then we have a new set of additions. This is something that they've done since this cluster of stuff, which is the Lapis cluster, where they have a new mechanic called Bestow. Anybody who's played Yu-Gi-Oh, basically that's equip cards, and they actually have it right there. You can see that Bestow part. So usually to activate the Bestow, you usually will pay the cost, and then you will tap it, and then it will go under the resonator, and it usually gives them benefits like added attack, or it can even weaken a resonator there. Because they can be tapped, that means you can play them during either player's turn. So in a sense, they can go into the chase. They have quick cast, so you could tap this during the battle phase. So if your opponent was to attack you, you block with your resonator, but your resonator is lower, you could tap this card, pay the oh well, you don't pay the will, you just tap it, and then it will go under and give it that boost. So a lot of times some people use these cards as basically kind of like I guess like cancel spells. So that's basically how you play the game, really. This is my first time doing stuff like this, so I may have missed some stuff, but if any person who does play Source of Will, or they may want me to go in more depth into like maybe like how to play, I'll do that in another video. Thanks again for watching. If you like, subscribe, right? Thanks a lot, and have a good day and a good year. Bye.